During the coaster wars of the early 2000s, the phrase go big or go home didn't really exist, but that is exactly what parks were doing. So, whilst Cedar Point were busy planning to break records, Farmington were just happy to be able to play with the big boys. That meant a contract with Intamin to create something not quite hyper, but still very hyped. Welcome to the big leagues, guys! Hello you guys, welcome back to Planet Coaster 2, welcome back to Farmington Field. As always, thank you for coming along for the ride. If you're finding us for the first time, well, come on in, grab a drink, sit down. We are about to have some chaotic fun. This is what we did last time then. We put in the Rapids ride. Oh my god, yes, it has percolated so well. This, I love it. I love it. I want to just blueprint it using every park. I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. Absolutely, yeah, yes. And then the town scene worked out really nicely, and of course the train station itself. You guys love, by the way, that toilets are in a church, so there we go, we stick to it. We had a suggestion, by the way. Spike suggested that this train would probably be the other way round because it would create a better photo opportunity. Spike, I completely agree with you. So there you go. We can call that an action that has been completed, signed off. Stick it in the chairman's notes. Thank you very much. So there you go. The train is the other way around. And if you are, oh god, if you are joining us for the first time, this is the kind of chaos that we get up to. We are turning a farm into a massive theme park like Alton Towers, and you can already see the coaster that's going in this week. Don't worry, I didn't just do the vote for the sake of nothing. I'm filming this as the vote is live, so the result of that vote will probably be the next coaster that's going in. But we are now into the mid 2000s. Remember, we're doing it through time. So we're doing it in time, not through time. So we're now into the mid 2000s. This is when the big coasters started to come out to play. Intamin was a big player. I didn't want to do a B&M because all of my big coasters have been pretty much B&M. I wanted to do something different, and this is what we are going for. So yeah, I've aimed my crosshairs at Expedition G-Force, and we have ourselves the station that's living here. Because of the way that this coaster works, by the way, I've had to have a run-in into the cable lift because this treats it as a block and it doesn't let the next train in until the previous train clears the lift hill. So I've actually made it a thing. Don't worry, I've got a plan, and I'm gonna talk you through it in a moment. So then we've got the lift hill. By the way, this also means that I can do this because the station didn't work. Anyway. You'll see. You will see, I promise. See, I promised you chaos. I promised you chaos. I am delivering on that promise. Anyway, first drop. I've profiled it the best I can. Smoothie Smooth does its own thing, but it's actually profiled pretty much as closely to Exhibition G-Force. Even that weird little outer bank and then back again to stop the whiplash on the back rows as you go over the crest of the hill. That's in there. But yeah, Smoothie Smooth does its own thing. I'm not fighting with the game. Whatever. Deal with it. Then into an airtime hill, and then into an airtime turn, which comes up and over the top, and that's so that it can reposition itself angularly towards the front of the park. Then it comes back down this way into another airtime hill underneath itself, and then around the outside of the fairy tale area that we've got, kind of signalling that either the fairy tales days are limited, or at least that footprint of that area is limited. We are keeping it to that area. But anyway, comes around this way into a really drawn out airtime hill over the top of this pathway here, turned around on itself, and then it basically does an out and back. So airtime hill there, into a turnaround here, and then into two final airtime hills, and then into the final brake run. This is where the maintenance area then is going to be. So let's talk theme, shall we? I was going to do a generic-y type theme. I wanted to keep it relevant to the whole farm area. But actually, when I was thinking through the configuration of the area, I think there's a better theme that lends itself to it. So first things first, I'm going to need to move this railway, not out of the realms of the possibility. Parks would probably do something like this. And I think the railway needs to come down this way. And then I think it probably needs to come back round this way, so it meets up with its original layout. Actually, it might need a little bit different. Anyway, so I want to bring it around this way so that I can then bring a path through this way, through this way, through this way, and then underneath here. So I've got a bit of a plaza. So this is going to be a plaza area like this. We're going to need to get rid of the roadway, which we've already started to get rid of. So we know that we can already get rid of all of that. And we know that we can get rid of all of that. Actually, where does this go? Oh, do you know what? We can just get rid of it all. There you go. Get gone. Gone. Get gone. So that leaves us with a little bit of space. I'm just going to clear these trees so you can see this ever so slightly better. Like so. Right. Theming wise then, I think I can probably do something around an abandoned building. Like a factory, an abandoned factory on the side of the lake. I want to lean in to using the town pieces again. So, you know, like this bit here looks a little bit factory-like. I reckon I can repurpose this, you know. What brick did we use over here? Oh, yeah, the townhouse brick. There you go. This brick is perfect for stuff like abandoned factories. And I want to lean into the theme that's already here. And I want to lean into the idea that this would have been first. So remember that this was put in as the brand new thing because the pack came along. This would probably be here first, and this would then be the sequel to that. Does that make sense? Am I making sense? So let me go and make that make sense, and then I'll be back. Hang on a second. Hold right there. Wait. So that first bit was nearly 6 minutes. Guys, tell me, do I need to ring that in? Because I love to talk about my thought process, but is that actually interesting for you? It's the first 6 minutes of the video where I'm supposed to be making an impression. Like, let me know, please. Anyway, I'll keep this one brief, I promise. The queue line is in. It's a cattle pen that's a little bit there. You can't see the detail of the actual pathway because I don't use curves, but there's a cattle pen there. It's going to come all the way back round this way, back round on itself, and then eventually working its way underneath, not underneath the station, but underneath the first bit here. So I told you I had a plan for it. It still will all make sense, I promise. Then up into the station, and then the exit's going to come down this way into some sort of shop. So, in terms of the theme then, this is what I think about the townhouse stuff. I have literally just thrown this together into a circle. And if we sort of squint and we put this on top of each other like so, and maybe we recolor it, you've almost got a chimney, haven't you? Like, I'm not going mad. There's definitely something there. I'm going for the idea of abandoned, almost textile brick factory. You know, the likes of the stuff you find in Manchester that have now been converted into flats or bougie places or whatever. That brick texture, I think, is just perfect for what I'm going for with the abandoned theme. And the townhouse set is perfect as well for that. Like, I'm going to keep this the same colour just so I can show you what I'm thinking. But if I stack this together like that, there's definitely something there. And then if I go ahead and use the door like this, there's definitely some definition there, right? There's definitely some kind of decoration or something going on. And there's a couple of pillars as well that I think would work quite nicely. So I think this one would potentially work. I mean, I'm not thrilled with the fact that it's got the wood, but I'm not mad at it. It kind of does it, right? And then if you use the damage decals from the base pack, like so. Are these the damage decals? There's grunge. I don't know where they are. Moderate damage. There we go. I don't know. There's definitely something, right? There's definitely 100%. There is something in that space. So what I'm thinking then, in terms of the actual station itself, is just a big rectangle box. That's all the factories tended to be. Just rectangular boxes like so. Let me just do this and then come back out this way. So it'll just be a long rectangle box. Definitely something there. I'm definitely feeling the vibe. I think I need to just go and do, right? See you in a minute. So as it turns out, yes, there is something in that because, oh my god, it is turning out so well. The townhouse brick is absolutely perfect for what I want to do with it. Like, it looks like a factory. It's an actual factory, and I haven't quite decided how abandoned I want this to be yet. Like, I could go ham and have it falling apart and it's literally a disaster area, but I kind of like how it is. It's veering towards the whole Battersea power station thing at the moment, and I'm kind of trying to avoid that because that's not what I'm going for. I'm going for an abandoned factory, but Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. I have decided to do some extra bits in the area as well, because when I was doing this whole thing and I wanted it to be fenced off and I wanted it to feel like it was almost like a compound that you're entering where you shouldn't be, it needed something else. It needed something in the area. So I have just put in this little thing here. There's going to be a couple of grab and go units going on here, and then a restaurant, because we haven't had a restaurant in the park for a while, so it kind of needs one, because the distance between them at the moment, it needs evening out. So yeah, I'm going for this again bricked up idea that these were once windows, these are windows, and then these are going to be white framed windows and stuff, so with a flat roof and whatever. But yeah, so I just thought it needed something in that space, and then it gives me a reason to have trees or foliage or I don't know, maybe even picnic benches or something in this area. I don't know what's going to go in, right? But the actual area itself as a compound, it needed more. I kind of want this to feel a little bit like the swarm area without it being an alien invasion. And that's also why I've taken this decision with the supporting mechanism. I always knew I was going to need to custom support this lift hill. The in-game ones are fine elsewhere. Wasn't so fine with the lift hill, so I have done the custom supporting of the lift hill. It's very similar to Expedition GeForce, but it's not exactly the same. But I mean, it stands up and it's exactly as I want it to be, and I think it's yeah, it works. Everything is connected where it should be, everything is all supported where it should be, and then you've got the angles where it should be as well. So I'm happy with it. And it also means that this whole area down here now has a bit of space to breathe, whereas the lattice stuff that comes in game, it didn't have any space to breathe. So yeah, now we do. Maintenance area then, it's looking good. I'm continuing this idea of maybe abandoned, maybe bricked up, maybe whatever, but it still needs to be a functional maintenance area, right? So there is still an element of, I don't know, operational readiness, I guess is the word that it needs to have. So yeah, from the outside it's decorated as if it's abandoned, and from down here it looks like it's part of the abandonment. But I have just put the fences and stuff up just to sort of try and obscure the sightline where I can. But I don't want to do it too much because it forms part of the area. It's important to that area for it to be like that. And then the queue line, the queue line has come together. I did not want to use these fences. I was trying everything in my power to not use them, but then I decided to do them inside. And as it turns out, it just went to the outside, and it all makes absolute sense. Like, I love this cattle pen. It's a bit sore. It feels a bit like the saw queue line, but I love it, right? The black brick and whatever, it's going to bring it to life. And then we're going to walk this way through the first part of the factory, and you're going to start to get a feel for what I'm going for here. I don't know if that actually works. Might need to move those pipes, but you're going to get the vibe of what I'm going for here. It's that whole industrial feeling. And then walking through here, and it's just in the shade. I mean, it would be amazing in the summer, because it would be the shadiest part of the park, I think. But when you start to, hang on, camera, there we go. When you start to look up at the whole building, yes, it's just imposing. It's just there, and I can't wait. I can't wait to finish it. Like, yes. This is the outside part of the queue then. It's just that little bit of the cattle pen, and then back round on itself, and then back through. This is the pièce de la résistance of the actual whole thing, though. So this is where the high theming really does come into it, because underneath here is the cattle pen of hell, but it's actually going to be made out like it's a factory inside. I love the idea of the train going over the top. Originally, I did think this was going to be a low ceiling building, and I didn't want to do too much exposure. And then I was like, actually, it needs a balcony or two just to give it that industrial vibe. And then I ended up putting in 2 floors, and now it feels like a factory. It feels, yeah. I don't know what else I need to do in here in terms of decor, because I kind of want to leave it where less is more, but I do also want to kit it out with some kind of factory type stuff. So for now, I've just put in some pipes. I do definitely need to do some girders. You're going to see those in the station because I need the continuity. But in terms of anything else, I don't know if there's anything else that's left to do. Once the roof is on, I think that's going to give it everything that it needs. A bit of lighting and call it done, I think. So yeah, I am here for it. Let me show you the station then. So this is, hang on, camera again. This is the station. So I quite like how this station is turning out. Again, it's that whole industrial vibe. Now we're starting to get Derren Brown Ghost Train vibes. So I'm drawing in all these bits of inspiration from industrial building themes that I can from lots of places, and I'm glad actually that it's kind of working out. So yeah, there we go. There's the whole concrete pillars, the girders, the metal steel girders and stuff. Very, very, very industrial feeling. Needs some kitting out and whatever, but I've already started to put the baggage holds and that sort of stuff in here, and lining off all of the doorways with the concrete and the stuff that you would normally expect. Then, of course, you've got the exit. This is tall enough, but I'm toying with it not being tall enough. It's easy to fix. All I need to do is just make the stairs go down a little bit further and then flatten it out. So it's easy. I've got space to do it if I decide that I'm so inclined to, but for now it's staying. Then we've just got the gift shop and photo shop area. This is absolutely an area that's going to be forgotten by guests. They're not going to bother to come in here. They're definitely not going to bother to look at the ride photos. They're just going to carry on walking past. But I'm all right with that. This is kind of like the decor and stuff that I'm going for inside here. Again, it's the whole pillars and girders and exposed beams and boilers and that sort of stuff. It's not steampunk, but it's kind of got that vibe to it. It's kind of got that steampunk thing going on for it. So, yeah, I love it. And then on the outside, I've just started to do like some of the detailing. It definitely needed railways. I'm just going to need to put some kind of doors and whatever on here to make it look like this may have been some kind of loading shed for railways to then export goods and whatever. And that then also makes sense as to why the steam train, which is very good timing, why the steam train is next to it. So it kind of all makes sense. It kind of all comes together. But this kiln absolutely 100% works. I love it. I am absolutely here for it. It's a mix of the two sets. Hang on, there we go. It's a mix of the two sets. So it's the keep wall and the townhouse wall. Just slightly different colours. In fact, not slightly colours, different colours. There's a lot of different colours there, but like lots of different colours and stuff. And because of the size of the building, I've been able to. Let me show you this. I've been able to do this as the roof. Bit. So I definitely wanted to have some kind of pyramid peak, but there isn't a roof piece that just works. So that's what I've done. I've actually taken the this piece here. There we go, that piece there, and just made it into a square, and then it lines it off just nicely. I think it works, and I think from the sight line down here, it's all going to work. So there you go. That's the factory as it is there. So let me take you back up here, because this is it. I've got some work that I need to do on the actual main ride, fences and that sort of stuff. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to see you in a minute. Well, guys, I think I need to crack open a classic here, because this has turned out way, way, way better than I had ever imagined. And just like Hasan Piker's dog, I bet you're also shocked, aren't you? I mean, look at it. It's turned out so well. From down here, it just looks absolutely perfect. It's turned out a little bit more well-kept warehouse factory rather than an abandoned warehouse, but I'm here for it regardless. Like, the clutter in this area has absolutely made it come to life. Like, I was scared that it was going to be a little bit open when I was putting it through, but when I put the clutter in and the benches and stuff for the restaurants, it just works. And it, oh yes. Yes. Like this upturned little train car here, the coal cart, despite the fact that she is just about to walk through it. Nothing I can do about that, by the way, guys. The barriers aren't working. So, yeah, I mean, it's absolutely perfect. It gives off Swarm vibes. It gives off exactly what I wanted it to, with, you know, with the phone box and the ambulance and stuff. That's what I'm going for. That's what I'm going for here. And then just lots of clutter. I mean, how would the park stop guests from climbing on this? I don't quite know. 2025, health and safety nightmare called. They want everything back. But yeah, for now it's the mid 2000s. We're all right with it. People haven't quite, you know, become morons yet, so we're all good. So here is the restaurant. It's called Warehouse, and this is what I was talking about with the windows and stuff. I think it works. I mean, I'm happy with it. Inside, I have just kitted it out as a warehouse. I wanted to keep it very minimalist. I wanted it to be about the exposed brick, steel, and beams, and the like polished slate floor and stuff. So I didn't want this to be any more than this. I didn't want to put like any of the equipment or kit or whatever, but I forgot that I think it's the aquatic pack has all of these industrial lights. Brilliant, perfect, chef's kiss, brings it to life, and you'll see it later on as well when you look at the rest of the building. Absolutely spot on, perfect. And on the outside here, it just brings it all to life, like the concrete trim, the corrugated roof with the slate from the town set, from the sorcery pack, and then the boarded up brick windows and stuff. It's just brilliant. Like, it's everything I want to do. It's absolutely way more expensive than the park would probably invest for something that's so small, particularly as it's a food unit. And in fact, this station building is probably a bit too much as well. But I mean, sod it, we've got the money, we're just throwing it around. This little queue here absolutely feels as claustrophobic and as gross as I wanted it to, and I love it. I'm here for it. Like the fact that it's enclosed with the fences and then all of the industrial steel and stuff. Yes. It doesn't have a name, so you know what to do. Leave names and stuff in the comments, please. I am going to go through all of the videos for all of the name suggestions, and I'll add them in before the end of the season, so we know that we've got them in for the tour and stuff. So yeah, leave your suggestions down below. This bit here then is just a barren wasteland. Don't quite know how the park would maintain some kind of wasteland, you know, with the shrubbery and the dead bushes and stuff. But I kind of wanted this to feel like it was a bit more war-torn. And then you've just got the trucks and the loading bays and stuff here. So that's now actually all quite nicely in place. Lots of special effects going on. You're going to see quite a lot of that around the whole area. So we've got vents with steam and stuff. It's the mid 2000s, so parks are doing it. It's not out of the realms of the possibility that this is the sort of stuff that you would find. So yeah, there's lots of special effects and whatever that you will see. These are the other lights. Absolutely brilliant. Full on love them. Absolutely full on love them. Then we walk through here, and then it's just, again, it's that whole almost like industrial warehouse space, Victorian industrial warehouse with some stuff. And then it's a really claustrophobic queue line. The detailing on here, by the way, has absolutely worked out. I decided to not use any of the decal and the damage stuff because they reflect light weirdly, and they end up looking like it's a portal to a light dimension rather than having an effect. You know, like on the Western stuff, it looked all right. On this, it just didn't. It just looks white. So I've decided to bin it off because this looks actually way better. I love how the pillars and stuff work. I know I wasn't too sure about the wood. No, I'm sold. I'm absolutely here for it. I've just put some of the Western clutter in because that feels like it fits quite nicely with what we're trying to achieve here. You know, like water towers and stuff. But maybe these are grain silos rather than water towers. That's why I've recolored them white. I just didn't want to feel like it was the same thing, but ultimately these are the Western stuff, right? Then just the bits down here, lots of clutter. So you'll see that I've sunken pipes and stuff into the ground. It'd be where nature has started to reclaim that whole land, and then a couple of pallets and crates and stuff that are around just to make it look like it's a warehouse area. But I love just this random little cattle pen. It's the sort of thing that theme parks do all the time, just these little cattle pens every now and again. Probably holds, what, 10 minutes worth of a queue, but you'll be surprised at how effective that actually is. And then for the back side of the factory then, this is the detailing that I've done. No bushes and shrubbery around here, by the way. I wanted to keep this quite open. I wanted to keep it barren because when I was looking at reference images, because it's industrial waste, stuff doesn't tend to grow, so it tends to just be this vast open space. I don't know if you can tell that I've put like the tiniest amount of grass in the brush. It is quite literally the lowest percentage and the lowest strength that you can put, but it's just a little bit of grass just going through the little dirt and the gravel and stuff. So that's kind of the effect that I'm going for. there. So let's walk through this way so I can show you the actual main cattle pen queue. Here we go. This is now how the interior looks. Again, I just wanted it to be a facsimile of a factory, so you've got the cogs and stuff all on the walls. You've got the train that's passing by up here. There are some special effects that will trigger, so you've got some smoke bursts and stuff that will come out as the train leaves the station, and that's sort of affecting the queue. And then I have just used the sorcery magic smoke here. I don't quite know again how the park would do it. Probably lighting, I imagine. So it would be lighting and steam effect, coloured green. So yeah, I just wanted to have like a toxic barrel and stuff. So you've got that bit. Then if we come up this way into the station, there is the station. Again, I kept this really quite bland and industrial, but I did just put plaster down on the floor so it looks like it's concrete, and then I have just tidied up some of this stuff along here. We've also got a concrete ceiling too. Again, it's plaster, but it's coloured grey to make it look like concrete. But yeah, I actually rather do like it, especially when the train leaves and you just get like this concrete pit full on here for it. And then this is the exit. I did go along and change it in the end. There was just something about it that wasn't sitting right, so I actually made it stairs, and I did put in a couple of handrails as well. And then we're going to come down this way. I love how the corrugated roof just interacts with everything. It just makes it so perfect. And then of course you've got the photo unit. Now because we've got 9 photos that taken, I've actually doubled up on the screens, and then just put the big one in the middle here, and then this is of course the gift shop, and then this is the photo unit. The photos are actually pretty decent. It's in a decent place, so I'm happy with that. I'm happy with the placement. Then of course you're going to walk out this way, and then this is the detailing that you've got on the back side of the building. The reference images and stuff that I was using had these little circular things. I used it already on the warehouse shop, but I quite like it. They weren't placed like in a pattern. There was no uniformity to it, and I kind of quite liked that. So yeah, it gives it a little bit of a randomness. And then of course you've seen the kiln already. It's just had some touching up done, and of course you've now got some smoke and whatever that's going along. Outside of the ride, I have also started to do some of the fences. Not completely done. I need to do the areas and stuff around it. And then down here I have put the extra path in. That's going to come from this way. It doesn't lead anywhere at the moment, but parks do this. Have a look at the bit by Swarm and a bit by Stealth at Thorpe Park. If you have a look on Google Images, you can see where the 2 paths would head over to the extra island and meet up. Go and do it. Honestly, you'll be able to see it. So there you go, guys. That is it for this week. Thank you so much for getting to the end of the episode. I really do appreciate it. Let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the usual stuff. We're going to go for a ride. I'll see you for the next episode. We've also got some Jurassic World Evolution 3 stuff coming as well. More on that very soon. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.